Hi, good evening. It's a bit late, but I'd like to share with you some thought on how do we go about making mayhem? How do we convince people to buy into something that they know is wrong? It's a very, very old technique, and it consists very simply you tie the evil thing with a native bodily fear. Fear of hunger, fear of isolation, fear of death. How does that work? Well, let's say I'm going to take a personal example here. I defend free speech. I totally defend free speech. You do not become outstanding unless you understand context. You cannot understand context unless you have free speech and the people around you have free speech. But then some of my stocks are related to, some of my investment are related to companies who have been pretty notorious these last weeks, months, at silencing people, at deplatforming people. So what do I do with that? Well, my two biggest stock I had kept very closely to my chest and didn't want to let them go. And sorry, I had to make a choice between having a little bit more money at retirement or being honest with myself. And honestly, I let them go. What would have happened if I did not? Well, that would have created a contradiction between what I believe and what I did. And the result would be discomfort, but not just discomfort, is that to resolve the matter, to avoid the discomfort, I would have done either dissociate and forget about it, or if the things came to me again, somebody pointed my hypocrisy, chances are I would have gone angry. I'm pretty sure about that. What else does it comes into? Yes, not in the United States, but in some country called Banania, they had elections. And they used systems that let them rig the votes, not in the United States, massively. Hundreds and thousands of millions of new votes could be thrown and added or swapped. But if you just do that in any country, people will say, wait a minute. We voted, therefore we're not going to allow that. They have a big uproar. How do you resolve the problem? Well, in any election, there's always people who do not understand how democracy works. And there will always be people who will try to cheat. Maybe it's a good guy whose wife died 3 years ago, and he feels he's doing a right thing to vote for what he believes would be what she would want to vote for. Anyways, typically in a fair elections, these people are caught before they actually do the deed, their misdeed. Nobody gets hurt, or few people gets hurt. If I want to rig an election, I will let those people do. Not because they change the result, but because now they become afraid that if my misdeeds become known, they will go to prison. So even though their action did not affect at all the result, I'm better off letting them bear the brunt of the fear. So that's a situation that's actually not new. It's actually a very old principle. You see it in the Batman film, where sorry, I'm not stable here. The Batman film where the Joker makes a major heist $1 billion in gold or something of the sort, plus a little bit of cash. And as he's getting out of the bank, before anybody notices that he's stealing the money, he comes face to face to a homeless person who could identify him, who could alert the police. Now he can do two things. He can kill the guy, or he can bribe the guy. And what he does is he throws him $100. And the homeless is so happy to have it that he's not going to give away that guy who was so good to him, right? So that's a very simple principle, and it applies to other things in society. Some are more emotional. In China, there's a growing consensus that the Communist Party is using prisoner of conscience to harvest organs. In North America, we're a bit more refined. We don't use that same kind of cannibalism. We use stem cells, some of which are used from aborted babies. Now, why people don't object to that? Well, maybe we have a part in it somewhere, somewhere. So, without going into politics and putting the blame, what I would just want to people, I would like you to think about is, what I try to do myself is to look for contradictions and then to try to resolve those contradictions. And sometimes it's not possible to resolve them by oneself, but it's always better to try than to let them fester. So that's that. Good night. Take care. Bye.